Live from Sugarloaf Studios, the Moldy Cast.
Welcome back to the Moldy Cast. I'm Jasmine.
I'm Mills.
We're live from Sugarloaf Studios. The river outside is bright tonight. Full summer sun, green banks, light bouncing off the water like broken glass.
And yes, the kayaking guy is still out there.
Every episode. Same stretch of river, same determined paddling.
We don't know his name. We don't know where he launches from. We just know he commits.
Maybe that's comforting. A man in a kayak, sunny river, normal things. Before we tell you about a place that isn't. When I was a kid, camping was the one thing everyone in my family agreed on. We'd drive out to some national park, split into teams, and race each other across the wilderness like it was a sport. 8 people, loud, competitive, happy. Then I turned 10, and my grandfather suggested a place none of us had ever heard of. Lake Cinderglass National Park, northern Colorado.
And the first red flag is always how casually it's said.
He told us he used to camp there all the time. No tourists, no crowds, a real adventure. Except we couldn't find it. Not on maps, not online, not in a brochure. Like it had never existed. But Gramps had maps, stacks of them, old paper, hand-marked, confident.
That's how it starts. Not with a monster, with a person who already knows the way.
We drove for hours through mountain passes and lonely roads until the car stopped on the edge of a dense forest. And beyond the trees, a lake, black as oil. No wind, no ripples, just still water, pretending it wasn't watching us back. We did what we always did. We split into teams and made a game of it. Grandpa went with my parents along the eastern route. My brother Eli and Aunt Patrice went north along the shore. And I got paired with my oldest sister Mara and her boyfriend Cole as we took the western route.
Which is code for, you're the tag-along.
Exactly. Mara was irritated, Cole was impatient, and I was 10, trying not to be annoying while carrying my little pack and pretending I was brave. We got our compasses, walkies, supplies, and we set off. About half an hour in, I noticed my map didn't match theirs. Their maps showed trails and distances. Mine looked vandalized. Circled zones, words written in shaky, deliberate ink. Beasts, gluttons, secluses, tricksters, apexes.
That's not graffiti. That's a warning.
I tried to show Mara, tried to tell Cole, but they brushed it off. They didn't want to hear it, so we kept hiking, uphill, into thinner forest beside the western shore, and we made camp right on the edge of the zone marked beasts. That night, the woods didn't sound normal. Not crickets, not owls. Something lower, further away, like breath moving between trees. I went to bed early. Mara and Cole didn't. They planned a little after-dark walk. They wanted privacy. I wanted to stay where the tent was, so they left me alone.
And the kid is always the one left behind.
I remember waking up, just once, to a glow in the distance. Lights. Not flashlight beams, not campfire. Lights that seemed to float and shift, like something moving through fog. And I remember howling. Not one howl, many, different pitches, some too high, some too human. Then it faded, and I fell asleep again. In the morning, Mara and Cole came back wrong. Shirt buttons undone, boots unlaced, jackets hanging off one shoulder. And neither of them noticed. I asked what happened. Cole could barely speak. Mara's voice sounded like she had to drag it out of her throat. Can't think. Hurts to think. Saw lights. Lights gave something, but took something away.
That line? That's the whole story.
She kept muttering the alphabet under her breath, but she couldn't finish it. Cole tried to pack, his hands clumsy, like he'd forgotten what fingers were for. I stepped closer to help him, and he turned on me. He snarled, his eyes flashed red, his teeth lengthened. And Mara suddenly grew. Not metaphor, she rose taller, broader, boots tearing, shirt ripping, and she roared at Cole like an animal defending its young.
And Cole did what prey does.
He shrank, clothes swallowing him. A hairless tail slid out of his jeans, thin, rat-like, and he scurried back. Mara, now huge, checked me like a mother dog, nuzzled my face, lowed in concern. You stay. Not safe. We'll hunt. Bring food.
Your sister tried, even as she was being erased.
Then she shrugged out of what was left of her clothes and turned into a hawk. She flew off. Cole expanded into the shape of a fox and bolted after her, half laughing, half yelping.
"Wanna come too?"
I grabbed the walkie-talkie, called for my parents, called for Grandpa, called for anyone. No response. 30 minutes of static. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the radio. So I did the only thing a 10-year-old can do when the adults disappear. I started walking, away from the lake. And as I left, I saw birds in the branches above. Vultures, watching me, still. And every one of them had a human face.
That's the moment you stop telling yourself you're imagining it.
I didn't scream. I didn't run. I just walked faster. I followed the map toward where Eli and Aunt Patrice were supposed to be. It took hours. The forest felt too dense, like it was refusing to let me through. But by late afternoon, I found their camp. Their camp was wrong the same way Mara and Cole were wrong. Not destroyed, not looted, just abandoned. Backpacks untouched, supplies laid out like they'd stepped away for 1 minute and never came back. The only thing missing was Eli's spy novel. I looked at my map. Their camp sat between 2 marked zones, Secluses in the forest and Gluttons in the lake shallows.
Never camp between 2 warnings. That's literally how horror works.
I went to the shore, called Aunt Patrice's name, screamed it until my throat hurt. Nothing answered. Then I saw an elk drinking at the edge, and I saw movement in the water, like a leech, small, wriggling. And then I saw its face, a tiny human head, doll-sized, mouth opening and closing. Hungry, hungry. It shot out of the shallows and latched onto the elk. The elk bucked, but the thing held. And as it fed, it grew. Inches, feet, bulging larger and larger, swelling like a nightmare balloon. It sprouted arms, long, rubbery arms, wrapped the elk and pinned it. The elk went still. Then the thing swallowed the whole carcass, like it was nothing. And when it turned toward me, I recognized the face. Aunt Patrice.
Glutton.
She looked at me like food, not like family, not like a person, just a portion. She boomed one word.
Hungry. Hungry.
I ran. I didn't negotiate. I didn't beg. I ran for the trees. Her size made her slow at first, but then she changed, sprouted legs like a millipede, and the ground started to shake behind me. I hit the tree line and dove into the dense forest, and I didn't stop until I crashed headfirst into the dirt. When I woke up, something was poking me with a stick. I lifted my head and saw a shape leap backward, clinging to a tree like a frog. Human-shaped, but not human. Arms too long, hands made of writhing tentacles, eyes huge with slot pupils. And tucked under its arm, a paperback novel. Eli's novel, with a leaf bookmark like it had been reading it.
Even as a monster, your brother still had taste.
Eli? He didn't answer. His tentacle fingers sharpened into blades. A warning. Don't come closer. There was intelligence in his stillness, but none of the Eli I knew. The show-off. The older brother's swagger. Gone. What was left was suspicion. Fear. He slid the book into a hollow in the trunk, then began to flatten. Skin rippling to match bark, head pressing into wood, limbs thinning, spreading, until he was almost two-dimensional against the tree. Then leaves sprouted from him, branches, like he'd always belonged there.
A secluse. A creature that survives by not being seen.
I begged him, asked where Mom and Dad were, asked what was happening. The slot eyes glared down at me, then vanished. And he became just a tree. I stood there for a long time, not sure if he'd checked on me or if he'd been deciding when to eat. I kept walking. I didn't have a plan, just momentum. And the map in my hand, like it weighed more than my whole body. Eventually, the forest thinned and opened onto the northernmost end of Lake Cinderglass. But there wasn't a shoreline. There was a maze of jagged rock pinnacles, spires as tall as trees, and beyond them, bare hills. Dead-looking. Empty. On the map, the pinnacles were tricksters. The hills were apexes.
That's the top of the food chain.
And right between them was where we were supposed to meet. The fireside party. The safe point. It was getting dark, the kind of dusk that makes everything look like a silhouette. I saw orange through the trees. My dad's jacket. Relief hit so hard my knees almost gave out. "Dad!" I shouted. He didn't react. He walked left, vanished behind trees. I chased him. He appeared again, then walked off again, deeper, toward trickster territory.
Leading you.
I screamed. I begged him to stop. Nothing. Then, 5 feet away, Dad turned. And he smiled. Not a normal smile. A smile stretched too far. A grin with needle teeth and eyes. Gold. He transformed in front of me like a magic trick designed to make me look away. Wings erupted from his shoulders, feathered, huge. His body stretched and bulged. His skin turned neon purple, then radioactive blue, and his face flickered. Dad. Mom. Eli. Mara. Even mine. A collage snapping like cards in a deck.
It's bait.
I turned to run, and Mom dropped out of the trees. She hit me hard enough to knock the air out of my lungs. I fell on my back, staring at the sky, and she descended with her own wings. She wore the same impossible grin, the same metallic gold eyes. They grabbed my arms, dragged me across the ground, toward the barren hills, toward apex territory. Mom, please, please don't. I don't want to die.
When they laugh.
Please, Dad, stop her.
Please,
help me.
Please.
Stop. They parroted my voice, perfectly, like they'd stolen the sound of me.
Tricksters. They don't just fool you. They wear you.
They dragged me to a rocky outcropping. And towering above was Gramps. He looked normal, which was the worst part. He sighed like a man watching a messy spill in the kitchen.
I knew I should have been more careful with that map.
What?
Not a mix-up I'd have made in my younger days. Losing my touch.
You knew?
Of course. I've been here before. Lake Cinderglass is only accessible 3 days out of the year. The rest of the time, it's gone.
Then why bring us?
To share it with you.
He said it like a gift. Then he started explaining, not like a villain, like a teacher. There's power in the land, energy of transformation. It seeks vessels. Humans trespass and get reborn into an aspect of the wild. Animal simplicity, hunger, solitude, cunning, or a true hunter.
Apex.
I asked how he knew all this. He said,
Trial and error. On my first visit, I came with a team. Through their sacrifice, I survived long enough to escape. Every visit since, I bring people, learn more, test the limits. And now I'm too old to lure tourists. So, I'm retiring to spend more time with my family.
Night fell, and Gramps said,
The lights of transformation always shine at nightfall.
He told me the light rises once every hour until dawn, and anything bathed in its purest radiance is reborn. I couldn't stop crying. He scoffed,
Don't be such a drama queen, Johnny. It's not like I'm killing you. They live on, healthier than any ordinary human. Tricksters who fought in the Civil War. Apexes who met George Washington. Don't you want to live forever? Notice he doesn't say, Do you want to be you?
He said this was a blessing, that Mara and Cole would be mated for life, that Patrice would never know shame again, that Eli was liberated from being admired, and my parents had cast off responsibility. And me? I'd never have to grow up. My whole life would be a family camping trip.
That's not love. That's a cage with pretty words.
A pale glow started rippling across the barren hills. The air changed, like static, like pressure before a storm. I sobbed and asked him, What do you get out of this?
I don't rot in a nursing home. I'm with my family forever. And as an apex, I won't be troubled by my conscience ever again.
The light arrived like a living thing. White, searing, coursing over the hills as if the land itself was opening an eye. Gramps stretched his arms toward it.
At last. Why did I ever hesitate?
For 1 second, I thought the radiance was mine. Then something thundered out of the trees, a shape galloping hard, and Mara appeared as a horse. Huge, powerful, but her face still almost human.
She followed you.
Even as a beast, even broken, she still babysat me. She swept me onto her back and bolted the other way. Grandpa screamed behind us, and then the thing chasing us wasn't my grandfather anymore. It was an apex, eyes black as night, and it shifted, mass of blades in the sky, then a giant spider the size of a bus, then something that blotted out the moon.
That's the truth of an apex. Not hunger, not tricks, pure pursuit.
Mara ran, hooves tearing the forest floor. She didn't stop. She outran him. Barely. And at the entrance, she dropped me off at the road. I stumbled forward, and behind me, at the tree line, Mara watched. And Grandpa watched. They couldn't follow me, but they didn't look sad. They looked patient. I was found wandering a highway 2 days later. Starved. Dehydrated. Half feral from fear. The investigation went nowhere. Police said the place didn't exist. Doctors said trauma does strange things to memory. Counselors said I needed to accept what I couldn't change. Then they put me in the foster system, with a few keepsakes from the family that vanished. And one of those keepsakes was Grandpa's diary.
Proof. And a map back.
It's been 20 years. I've been hospitalized more than once. I've moved town to town, job to job, relationship to relationship, always leaving, always running. But I'm in Colorado now, and little by little, I'm moving back toward Lake Cinderglass. Not because I'm brainwashed, not because I'm enchanted, because after everything else, it's the only place that makes sense.
That's how it gets you. Not with fear, with belonging.
Soon those 3 days will arrive. Soon I'll be with my family again. Soon I'll be home. You've been listening to the Moldy Cast. Some stories end. Some places don't.
The sun's still up over Sugarloaf. The water's calm. The trees are loud with summer. And that guy is still kayaking.
Same rhythm, same stretch, like nothing in the world is wrong.
Or like he knows something we don't.
From Sugarloaf Studios, good night.
We awaken from the shadows. Our hunger is gone. This world will tremble before us.